okay, I turned in my papers, and they were pretty nice. They were pretty nice. They said if I go to any city, I can check in to see if I could get my tooth that broke in half fixed. I think that's what they're saying. I was like, my tooth? And then she was like, I think she said if you qualify for some kind of emergency help or something. That's why I made sure I turned my papers in Mecca, because I'd rather, if they give you like emergency housing or something, I'd rather live in Mecca than any city in the desert. And be right near the farms and something kind of fun and good and therapeutic and happy. And country folks are always so more humble and sweet and nice. But that was kind of good news. So I don't know if Children of God or anybody would ever want to know that. But when I turned the papers in, they said you could check into other welfare offices to check in on how your case or whatever is doing or whatever. And I guess you have to find out in the first 3 days or something about something. So for in the next 3 days, I have to check in. Because, man, my tooth is... I don't know what happened. I chew on ice all the time. I just woke up one morning and half of my tooth was gone. Like, boy, Bonnie, are you bad about teeth? Because then you I wonder how long it was broken in half, because I don't know where the other half went. And then they asked, okay, so I don't have a specific address because, like, I don't want to stay here for the summer anymore. So I'm just kind of in limbo, so I have my mailing job. So I have a mailing address, like a P.O. box mailing address. But they were asking for, like, your address. It was like, well, I've been known to stay in SkyValley, Landers, and Mecca. So I thought, well, I'll just say Mecca. But then I was like, what if it matters? So then I was like, well, what if I just stay wherever I stay or do whatever I do? And she was really cool. As if she knows that some people that are down and out stay with a billion people, or kind of bounce from house to house until they get their life back scheduled or whatever. And she was like, you can go to all these different areas and just check in with welfare offices. And I was like, oh, thank God. But, that's what, I knew I was rambling because I was trying to stall. The gods want, okay, so, okay. Back. Okay, if you're a husband that is property, the ones who don't have any freedom to fuck up and do the wrong thing and end up in danger. Okay, if you're one of these property husbands, I made you see a spiritual star for like a whole day so that I could light that spiritual star that you see and show every god which husband is property husband. So I made you see a spiritual star as the property husband. And it's like a satellite that's calling all the gods and telling them that you're one of those property, dream, invincible husbands. And I just wanted to let you guys know that, because gods are going to be trying to make deals with you or bargains or negotiate or talk to you or deal with things through you as husbands. But don't worry, just run to me whenever you guys need answers. Just keep relying on me whenever you guys need answers. And if you guys ever go near the 666, you guys did it to yourselves. Now, once again, you want to help dead, altered people, but they're gross, happy to murder, and mentally not totally there anymore. They're like weird, warped in death, built in death, zombie weird things that just appear very perfectly normal. So you have to, 1, be very careful. You have to, 2, don't let them get away with anything or do anything bad. And then 2, you can't let them cry or pretend or act amazing and get you to do something bad, or they'll hurt you and gods can't protect you because you did something bad. So really, when you go around dead, altered people as the husbands that I have, and you want to be amazing, heroic husbands, you don't play house with sick, disturbing people. connected to the United States and Dubai. You become like a very scary, powerful, structured force. In that powerful, structured force, you possess and control them. To be the beautiful, orchestrated story of how they were killed and altered. Okay, so... Okay, this is what you would do, husbands. Okay, so I'm going to have to pretend to be you, the husband, because I don't know how to explain this any other way. So I'm going to be you, the husband. I am the commanding, invincible husband of the great Bonnie Annika. And God's, I need you to possess and control the death altered. They need to reminisce about the life they have lost, the childhood they had. They need to be possessed by the power of God until everyone can see the child and the life that was murdered and destroyed by the United States and Dubai. But the power of God still needs to show that they are capable of murder and very bad, scary things, and happy and easily can do all those things. And then through the power of God helping you to feel bad for the life they've lost, but understand the criminal they've become, you must be the strength and structure of God and man in greatness to harness the strength and devotion it takes to tackle the bad side of them very commandingly, very forcefully, where you're not going to put up with, tolerate, or allow anything bad. And it's well known they are like really bad, rabid animals that will just run into bad things. And you have to stand like a wall that will not allow bad things. One day they will thank you, but probably not that day. And then every God and I, the husband, need to celebrate the childhood and life they had that they lost and help them to feel that inner childhood and life they lost until they're so consumed and angry they want that life back. Once again, they will not thank you for telling them they cannot do bad things. Today they will never say, wow, I can't do what's bad or wrong. Wow, thanks for making me a good person. They're death altered. They will not tell you thank you. And they will be grouchy. And they will try to lie, steal, bargain, anything. When you are death altered, you have a weird, gross control problem. Okay, when the United States altered their brain in death, okay, so their death is very, okay, so, gosh, this is so hard to explain to people. Okay, when somebody dies, their earth breaks, their soul cracks. When somebody dies, they're all fucked up and emotionally just fucked up. Okay, now imagine you were the United States in Dubai and you learned how to take that fucked up death and alter it in a brain to get what you want. And you wanted everybody to be murder happy, suicidal, gross, weirdo shit. And that's what they all are. You want them to feel their inner baby, feel their inner child, feel what everyone took away from them, and until you're fighting against their death alteration, and you're bringing more of their heart and soul to life, and you're using your powers as a husband and using the power of God to say, I want their inner screaming child to scream, I had a right to live. That was my life. And fight to get it all back and be amazing, good, normal people again. But like I said, they're not going to thank you. And right now they're altered to murder and be happy about it. Murder and be happy about it. Or murder and feel justified about it. Which, hey, they've been murder altered. You can't tell them they're not justified to be overly violent. You have to pull on their right to live. You have to pull on how they've lost their life. You have to get them to focus on a beautiful day of putting flowers on a table and the enjoyment of loving a husband if they're a girl. or the beauty of being a man who can go fishing and try to like catch a fish you'd want to put on the wall at the house. Or you have to get them to say, I've been murdered and my brain has been altered. I have no more control over my dead self, but I want to live again and be the old me and have that back. You need to get them to want that old them. And you have to get them to want to live and be alive and happy again. You have to pull them out of that death, alteration, zombie, scary, sad shit. You have to build their heart, build their soul with the gods until all they see is their pumping heart and soul wanting to be. Until they build and build with the gods, with the husbands, and get away from the United States and Dubai and keep becoming amazing, good, happy, normal people. I'm just throwing it out there because everybody's a little bit dumb about these ones. The husbands tend to cater to the dead zombies because they feel bad. All not going to go anywhere that's productive or constructive. Sadly, the more you try to help a death-altered person, the more they'll just drain your help forever. Why? Because their death will never feel better, people. You're not helping them. I hope this helps. I did analyze the gods and why they were so depressed, and this was one of the issues. They could not figure it out. I guess I must be a little bit smarter because I'm an ultimate creator of everything. But I did notice that the gods can't figure out. The gods are overwhelmed because death alteration is so massive and scary and horrifying and overwhelming. And the gods are overwhelmed because every enemy I've ever had is who educated them. So it's actually very bad death alteration. But giving up doesn't help anybody. And falling apart doesn't really help anything. And all these answers don't really solve anything. So husbands, listen to what I'm saying. And if you're not brave enough to command the gods and act like the daddy today, well then tell the gods to watch this video. And instead of you being the commanding husband, trying to make them want to live, have the gods be the commanding gods, controlling you to teach them how to want to live and break out of the chains of death-altered brain reality, which is death-altered brains it's a very powerful, sad, scary cage. It's like your whole insides up here are like a cage that they're stuck in, and it's very overwhelming and powerful because it's built in death. And you have to take them into a different focus and get them out. And you can't let them do bad. They will easily do bad. They've learned bad. Like anything. There was a little boy once that told me, I learned how to steal, and I can help my mom pay the bills. And I learned how to steal, and it helps my mom pay the bills. And what God would treat me bad? I'm not doing nothing bad. I want you to pay the bills. I'm trying to help my mom. And I tried to explain to the baby, but when you steal the money, what if you stole the money from somebody just like your mommy who needed the money? And he said, well, gods need to fix this. Something's not working right. But see, he didn't have any brain about stealing. His brain didn't understand the bad of stealing, because the only time he ever stole was to help his mom survive. So he felt like a hero. His brain didn't understand stealing as a bad thing. The same thing with death alteration. In death alteration, the United States and Dubai murdered them and made their brain believe a billion things. So they don't see the right or wrong in anything anymore. They just see survival. They just see that bad or crime or wrong things get them the happiness or a good day that they want. They don't see life right because they're so altered in death. You have to pull them into wanting to live and wanting to see a happy, normal, healthy day of life. And then they'll start to realize how much of a cage their sad brain really is now. And then you help them to understand how to get out of the cage of their brain, which is monumental. Okay, so have you ever met somebody who can dissect a brain? I don't know if we have brain surgeons here that are real. Is there brain surgeons here that are real? I don't know. Okay, so once these victims understand their brain's like a really powerful, scary cage of weird monsters out of control, or however they describe it, you would get a very severe, smart brain expert, because their brains have to be rebuilt. As you rebuild a part of their brain, you help them to be alive again and learn how to use that part of their brain. Then you fix another part, and then another part, and that's how you pull them into life. And you keep them focused on the joy and happiness of life and having their life back. If you guys need any help, let me know, but I am way behind, hours behind, and I really need to get at least like some hours work. I hope all this helped. Till next one.